I have a small practice. It's very individualized to the clients. My goal is whatever the client's goal is.
Awesome.
That's typically my first question to a client is, what is your goal? Because that's going to tell me the way this case needs to happen strategically to best meet the goals of the client.
Hi, and welcome to Ask the Expert podcast, where we talk about all things senior related, like healthcare and entertainment and finances. If you don't already have a subscription to our magazine, it is a free monthly publication that we mail directly to your home. You can give me a call, 727-400-9028. My name is Stephen Halstead, and I'm the sales manager for Senior Life Publications. Before we get started here, I do want to thank the Central Park Performing Arts Center for letting us film out here. We've done, I think this is our third one here now. We like this location, and if you're not familiar with the center, you should check them out. They have activities, they have concerts and theater. So go to largoarts.com and check out what's going on. So today I have with me a friend of mine. Everybody, I know everybody, right? Diana, welcome.
Thank you, Stephen.
So I think the easiest thing to do is just to say, tell our viewers who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Stephen. Well, my name is Diana Mangsen, and I am an attorney here in Largo. My office is on East Bay Avenue, right across from the Palms of Largo, pretty much.
Pretty much.
And I've been licensed to practice in Florida since 2006. And prior to becoming an attorney, I worked as a registered nurse for about 16 years up in Massachusetts. And the last 4 years of that, I went to law school in Boston.
Wow.
Which was a wonderful experience. And then I came to Florida because my parents were here and they were aging.
Most of our parents are here.
Yeah, right. You gotta chase them down. My dad's still living. He's 95.
Oh, wow.
And he's doing great.
Amazing.
I know. I'm so happy about that. My office here on East Bay, I am practicing in 5 areas.
Okay.
So what I've focused my practice on is 5 areas that I can really just do. And therefore, I'm not putting myself in all sorts of other.
Right.
So I can really fine-tune that practice. So I practice in the areas of Medicaid planning and Medicaid execution. So
that's a big one.
Yeah, it's huge in this area. Estate planning, which is another big area.
Yep.
Social Security, Disability,
okay,
probate,
okay,
and veterans benefits. And I'm actually an accredited veterans benefits attorney.
Oh, good.
I got into that because I grew up in the Army. My dad is a veteran of 3 wars, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
Wow.
So my dad did his whole career in the Army.
That's amazing.
And that's what got me so interested in that work. I grew up on military bases. So
you know those people.
I kind of do. I am those people, and they're the dependents of, the children of. I have a small practice. It's very individualized to the clients. My goal is whatever the client's goal is.
Awesome.
That's typically my first question to a client is, what is your goal? Because that's going to tell me the way this case needs to happen strategically to best meet the goals of the client.
And that's so important because, there's lots of lawyers out there that do a lot of different things and have multiple partners and things like that. There's a place for all of that. But I love the fact that you're like, I've got 5 areas where I feel like I'm an expert in those areas. I have an RN background. I have a military, I've worked with them. That just makes things, I think, more essential to be able to help people. Because you can really focus on those things. I think the veterans things is important. Your RN background amazes me because I don't know, and I'm sure maybe it's happened before, but I've never met a lawyer that was an RN prior. I'm sure you're not the only one, but I think that probably brings so much knowledge into what you're doing with working these families who are trying to figure out how are we going to pay? What is out there? Is Medicaid the way to go? Is my mom or my dad eligible for VA benefits? I mean, you understand the working of that, right?
That's right.
So you mentioned that Medicaid planning in Florida, in our area in particular, is a big thing that happens here. So what do you have to say about the Medicaid planning?
I guess I would first say that there's a lot of misunderstanding about the Medicaid program in Florida, a lot of misconceptions about it.
Wow.
I would say probably the biggest misconception that I've heard from people is that Medicaid's going to take all your property and everything you own.
Just take everything you have.
Just everything you have, they're going to get it all.
They can't really do that.
They can't really do that.
Yeah.
And there are assets that are exempt that Medicaid can never touch. And there are ways to transfer assets that are permissible under the Medicaid laws in Florida. So I have found some pretty tragic cases where people, especially married couples, who one is the caregiver and the other is the one that needs more care, but really they both need care.
It's true.
But they're sort of going along day by day, and they'll hold on long beyond what is reasonable in terms of their health or what's good for them, because they're so fearful of everything going to the Medicaid, everything they've worked for their whole life.
Right.
Their home and so forth.
Understandably so.
Yeah.
But with the misinformation, they're not asking and they're not seeking. They're just going, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. You know, so.
And they may be going by stories they've heard from people from other states. The law is very state specific in the Medicaid world. So every state is different. So Florida has its unique rules and its unique ways of dealing with the asset rules that may be very different in other states.
And that's important to know, because a lot of people move to Florida from another state, and they may already be on Medicaid. Well, what's the differences between the state you're in and what the state you're going to? Or once they move here, they're familiar with what was going on up there, and it's not the same here.
That's the more typical scenario, where they came from didn't have the same asset protection rules that the Florida Medicaid program does have.
Right.
And so they do have experiences with friends or other family members where they were not able to hold on to or transfer assets under the law in that state. But that's why it's so important for them, especially people who have just moved to Florida, is to investigate that with a person knowledgeable about those areas.
And not be afraid to ask questions. And I do think that people think, oh, if I call a lawyer and I want to ask some questions, it's going to cost me, hundreds of dollars to, they're obviously, but I know for a fact that you have done, and I know with the last year and a half being with COVID, you haven't done as much of that, but you do. And one way I met you was because you do seminars, public seminars, and to allow people to come into a space and spend time with you, and you talk about Medicaid, and they can ask questions.
That's right. I've done before COVID, I did lots of community seminars and workshops where people were invited to come. The public was invited to come, no charge, just to come in and participate in the workshop, ask questions, hear the seminar, and I mean, it's a great service that I feel strongly. Make an educated decision. Oh yes, and I feel strong. I really enjoy doing those. I miss them because we haven't done them. Although we're planning to do on a Zoom format.
Okay.
We're going to do an educational series.
Fantastic.
That is in line with those talks I used to give, because it doesn't look like it's yet time to start doing in-person seminars again or workshops. So we're going to be doing them on Zoom. I've been holding out about that, but it's time to just say, okay, and I hope you're going to help me.
Yeah, we'll figure that out, right? So the whole thing is I think we all switched over to this virtual format, and it worked, and now people are sick of it. But I think what I have learned is that we weren't using it at all before, and we can reach more people through that format. So I think we need to get back to, when we can, in person and larger groups. But why would we ever, cut people off that can't be there in person? I think it's a great way to reach people, and it's recorded, and it's in history, and people can go back and rewatch it and say, what was it she said? Oh, okay, well, let me give somebody a call. Give someone a call and start asking some questions.
And Stephen, if there are, just like I used to say to community, if there are community groups that you belong to that you would like me to come and speak to on any of the 5 areas that I practice in,
awesome.
I am happy to do that on the virtual format, so we can still be able to do that. And there is no charge for those. And I call it sort of having a strategy about as we age.
That is so smart. So tell us how we can get a hold of you if somebody wanted to call and find out more about that or what you do.
Well, we have a website, and actually all those educational series that we do, and even this talk today, will be on the website.
Okay.
The website is mangsenlaw.com. That's MANGSENLAW.com. And also our phone number at the office is 727-888-6282.
Excellent. So please don't hesitate. If you have questions, go to the website, see if they answer them there. If not, give them a call and at least find out when some of these educational series are, because education is super, super important, and I appreciate you doing that. We appreciate you being here today.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. We're out here sweating a little bit, but we're going to be okay. It's all right. We live in Florida for a reason, right?
That's right.
Thank you guys for watching us again. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to our channel, go ahead and do so you'll know when we have future videos coming out. And again, if you want to get in touch with me about getting that magazine mailed to you free of charge, my number is 727-400-9028. And again, we want to thank the Central Park Performing Arts Center for hosting us today. We hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next month. Thank you. Bye-bye.